Today I want to talk all about 7th grade literature. What are we doing for our literature in 7th grade? This is not the specific books that we will be reading either through read alouds or independent reads, but this is more an overarching, what are we doing for 7th grade in literature? If you are interested in what specific read alouds or independent reads we will have in our homeschool for 7th grade, please make sure that you are subscribed with the notification bell clicked, because that video will be coming out shortly. I'm just waiting for a couple more books to come in. First is the BJU Explorations in Literature. This one I was able to find in great condition and used. So I just thought I would go ahead and pick it up. I do have the book A and the book B of the teacher's manual, as well as the tests and quizzes. The textbook for Exploration in Literature is divided into units, and within each unit you can see that there is going to be like a thinking zone, a review. The first unit is for courage, so you will have reading assignments, and there are vocabulary words that you'll need to be familiar with that are included throughout the passage, and then there will be a thinking zone. You have an about the author, and you'll have questions that you need to answer for this passage. So this is basically how it is set up throughout. Sometimes there are more vocabulary words, sometimes there are less, but you will always have this thinking zone and questions after the reading. And sometimes there's about the author. They do not always have an about the author. And the reading passages do vary in length, so you're not going to have the same amount of reading all the time. So now let's look at this open sequence. What will you be focusing on? There are 6 units within the book. So courage, nature and man, generosity, our land, humility, and family. You can see that there's going to be character concepts. We're going to be talking about points of view, literary devices, etc. Within each of these units, there are a number of stories. The first unit, which is courage, you can see that you do have multiple stories that are all related back to courage, and then there is a unit test at the end of the unit. But the same thing for nature and man. There are multiple readings for each of these different units. Now, BJU does include quite a few quizzes, and I'm not quite sure yet whether I'm going to be utilizing those quizzes and tests or not. We'll just have to see how it goes. They also have writing recommendations, and again, we'll just see how it goes as to whether we're going to be utilizing those writing recommendations or not. But the teacher's manual in general is extremely detailed. So you can see this is a copy of what the student page looks like, and then there's information for discussion, your introduction, there's analysis, your scripture application. There's just so much information that is included in these teacher's manuals from BJU. These are definitely something that I would recommend purchasing if you're planning on using BJU curriculum. In addition to BJU, we will be continuing with the Moving Beyond the Page literature studies. We try to do these about 2 a year, and we really enjoy them, where these pull together so many different aspects of a book. We will be doing a single shard from Moving Beyond the Page is recommended for ages 11 through 13. They do have 11 lessons plus your final project included in this. They recommend for this one that you have 2 books, a single shard as well as the Handy Guide to Writing by Moving Beyond the Page. Additionally, for materials, you'll see that for the various lessons, they have the material list outlined for you. Then there is the review sheet. So this will just give you an idea of some of the concepts that you're going to be studying. This unit does look like it is set up a lot like what we have had in the past. So I will link my video review for the Esperanza Rising Moving Beyond the Page study. But one thing that I want to just point out is these links that they have are very useful, and they are free. So you don't need to pay additional to be able to utilize this information provided by Moving Beyond the Page. I'm not sure whether we're going to do this the first semester or the second semester. I'm still deciding on the second Moving Beyond the Page literature study that we will be doing, and so that will determine whether we're going to be completing a single shard in the first semester or the second semester, but we will be utilizing this with our literature in 7th grade. Also, from Not Consumed, I purchased their reading journal for middle school. I'm really excited about this because I was struggling some with book reports in 6th grade. The Not Consumed reading journal for grades 6 through 8 focuses on 8 different books. So you choose your own book. There's nonfiction biography, nonfiction Christian lifestyle and leadership, nonfiction money business, nonfiction informational text, and then 4 fiction books. So for your nonfiction autobiography, you can see for day 1, you're going to do pre-reading. And then day 2, you'll talk about the setting. Day 3, narration. Day 4, connection. Day 5, questioning. Day 6, application. Day 7, your worldview. And so you just fill in these different bubbles to be able to help you analyze what you've been reading. Day 8, character. Day 9, conversation. Day 10, vocabulary, modeling, evaluation, and synthesizing. And then finally on day 14, you will have writing. So use this area to create a brainstorm, web, or an outline, then type or write the essay on your own paper. So you can utilize the information that you have been doing for the past few weeks for writing your final report. So nonfiction Christian leadership, you can see that it's similar. Money and business. So these are similar but not exactly the same. Now when we get over to our fiction, you can see here again you're going to have your pre-reading, then you have introduction, your character, location, time. So this is for our fiction book before we have been talking about nonfiction. Here's your plot 1, narrator, viewpoint, connection, purpose, another character, worldview, vocabulary, tone, mood, plot 2, vocabulary 2, wrapping it up, application, and then writing. So for these fiction one, it is 20 days. I am hoping that this journal will enable us not to struggle quite so much with how to evaluate independent reads. And I'm really looking forward to that and seeing how it goes.